What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video for you guys. 2008 through 14 Dodge Avenger. We're getting ready to bleed the coolant system. Okay, just replaced the water pump, so that's what I'm showing. So just replaced that, so it's time to bleed the coolant system. So let's show you how to do that. So let's get up top and let's start the procedure. This should be the same process for many vehicles as far as bleeding the coolant system. So let's get to it. All right, so we up top now. You're gonna need some universal, or you can use standard for depending on which vehicle you're working on. This is a North American vehicle, so I got universal coolant. So I got full strength. So I turned this into 50-50. You're gonna need some distilled water, and yeah. So from there, you're gonna fill up your radiator cap or radiator, wherever you're at, and we got that full. You can also purge your hose to get air out, but since we're here, I'm going to cover my cap. I'm going to lose a little bit of coolant just because I overfilled here. So go ahead and put this on, but you're going to fill it till it's full. Okay, you're going to have to probably pop this back off here and there. Let's get him to sit right. There we go. And lock it in place. Let's swipe up around there, and when we can check for leaks as we go. All right. So that's full. Now it's time to start the vehicle. You want to turn your heat to the highest setting. So let's do that. Once the heat starts to blow and you start to get the heat coming out, then you want to cut the vehicle off, let it cool down. And then you're going to check your coolant level, okay? This will be the last thing I fill up, which is the overspill. I always do that last because it's the overspill. All you need is what's supposed to be in there, and whatever it doesn't want or doesn't need, you have this over here, which is your spigot. It'll spit out whatever is extra, okay? So let me start the vehicle. All right, so after you start the vehicle, your serpentine belt might have a little coolant on there. So I'm gonna take some brake part cleaner and start cleaning it up. I see it start to quiet down. And it might take a little while for the noise to go away. But yep, hopefully it'll quiet down for me here in a second. I was getting all that old antifreeze off. And it should start to quiet down. I'm gonna go underneath as well. So it might squeak for a bit after that, as long as you don't have any bad pulleys or anything, because it'll continue to squeak. So we're gonna let this heat up and get to the operating temperature. Let me get my heat gun. Temperature gun, you might need one of these. That way you can monitor your temperature. Your vehicle shouldn't be no higher than 180 to 210 degrees once the coolant system is bled. So. And let's check, see how much coolant in the overspill. And it's just about full, so I'm not going to add any to this. So, but if you can't see it, I usually take a light and just hold it up against the side. Then that way it'll show the level over here, just like that. Hopefully this squeaking will stop here soon. But it wasn't squeaking before, so I know the belt's got some stuff on there. Alright, so I'm gonna let it do its thing and run. And like I said, the heat is at the highest setting. The engine is completely cold right now. So you might have to add more coolant here and there. So I'm getting ready to take the cap off here in a minute, but I wanted to start the vehicle to start the process. So you're gonna hop inside the vehicle, okay? And you wanna start to feel the heat, okay? Heat starts to come out, then you know you're in a good position on bleeding it. If you don't have any heat, it might be some air in the system still. So from here, you're gonna watch your temperature gauge and you're gonna use your heat gun if you don't, but you don't have to have one, but you just wanna make sure heat is coming out, okay? So it's starting to warm up a little bit already. I probably only lost about a gallon of antifreeze, maybe a gallon and a half. So that's why I did not drain the radiator. I just drained the water pump area. And let's go check for leaks in the water pump area, since the
serpentine belt is circulating. And let's make sure we have no leaks. Water pump looks nice and still. Got a couple of pulleys singing. Might have to upgrade a pulley, maybe not, but hopefully that noise will stop here in a bit. But we have no leaks, so that's great. Water pump installation was successful. Wasn't nothing wrong with the actual water pump. The gasket failed. So if the gasket fails, definitely change the pump. All right, so let me get out from under here. No leaks, that's great. But yeah, probably about a gallon and a half, maybe. So hopefully I got all the air out. That's where the temperature gun comes into play, all that good stuff. Trying to find me a magnet spot. If it's not, then all good. There we go, that's something right there. All right, so now it's just a waiting process, and you see our noise went away. So yours might do that as well, so don't be scared, especially if it wasn't doing it before. But if you can afford to and you think you need some new pulleys, change your idler pulley, your belt tensioner if you think it's not holding the belt real well. So now the squeaking stopped. Now this is the long process. It could take you 20 minutes, it could take you an hour to bleed your coolant system, but definitely, you definitely want to monitor your temperature, okay? So I know the engine's cold, so I'm gonna remove my cap and check, make sure, see if we got any air. And it looks like we need to add some coolant. Because once the serpentine belt starts to rotate, it starts to spread the coolant throughout the vehicle. So let's add some more. And you might spill some, just kind of be careful. And just pull it up and check. Just do a little at a time. All right, there we go. So now our neck is starting to fill up. So let's remove this. All right, I'm gonna purge my hose a little bit, just give it some squeezes, see if we get any air out. There we go. But you want no air in the system because it will cause the car to overheat. Got a little bit of air still here and there. So I'm just kind of purging the hose, just squeezing on it. And after you bleed the system, you might have to put some coolant in, in a couple of days. You want to check it. Even if your heat's coming on and everything, it doesn't hurt to pop your radiator cap just to make sure it is full. And you want to do it when the engine's cold. Never remove your radiator cap when the engine is hot. You will burn yourself or injure yourself. So, all right, so I'm gonna leave that alone for now. We're gonna put our cap back on and let the vehicle run and start to heat up. Really don't like this new setup because it's so flimsy versus a radiator cap neck. Just kind of clean up as you go. That way you can see what's leaking, what's not leaking, and we're just waiting for temperature to rise. All right, so thermostat's on this side. So that's where I usually go to. On the side the thermostat's on. This will be over here, and you want to just check for it to heat up. Then you want to come in inside the vehicle, you want it to heat up, and you want it to sit in the middle. Okay, I'm already getting heat. Let's see how much we got. All right, we got 111 degrees coming out already, nice and hot. So now we gotta basically just sit here and monitor the vehicle and make sure it gets to the middle up there. Okay, so once it hits the middle, let it run, take it for a test drive, come back, let it sit for about an hour, and then check the coolant level. Okay, like I said, still check it in a couple of days. So let me sit here and wait, and let's check the temperature.
So when you're checking your heat, you want to check it in the middle because that's where you get most of your heat coming from. So let's get up in here. And it's going to fluctuate here and there. And you want it to keep climbing up. So at 117. And yep. 18. Okay, so we're going up. Let's go outside. Like I said, the middle setting is 180, 210, so about 210 degrees. It should never go higher than halfway, and if it does, it should automatically kick back down. All right, so let's check our thermostat area. We got 135, 136, 126 in this area, and it's gonna take a little second for the coolant to heat up, but you want to just monitor it as you go through to go around. So your upper radiator hose is usually warmer than the bottom one. And let's go around to the other side. And the bottom radiator hose is down there somewhere. Okay, it's on this side over here. So that's your lower radiator hose. And it's 70. This one should be a little warmer. Yep. All right, so we're gonna let that sit and keep checking our coolant level, our hot and cold temperature gauge. So we're gonna keep doing that, and I shall return. But this is pretty much the process, and definitely, like I said, you're gonna want to top off your coolant reservoir. Make sure you don't, if you need to, you know, it's like I said, you can sit a light on the side, and it should show you got your full when hot. And it'll be a little lower when it's cold, so it says add, but the vehicle is not hot yet. So we're gonna let it heat up, and I'll return here in a moment. But yeah, you definitely want to check for leaks. That's why the tires fell off. I don't want to put anything back and then have to take it back out. You know what I mean? Just because I got a leak. So we got that going. Temperature's climbing. Go back over to the thermostat, and that way we can check and see how hot it's getting. At 135, 140, and it's climbing like it should. All right, let's check over here. 113. Let's check the other hose down here. 70 degrees. Okay, let's go inside the vehicle. It's already starting to blow hot, and I'm just waiting for it to not overheat. We want it to get in the middle. So it's the waiting process. It takes a while. Let's check and see how hot this is now. 128 degrees. All right, so we're proceeding. Everything's looking good. This is a nice heat coming out too. And that's just me moving my gun, trying to get the best reading possible. But yeah, if you can, replace your radiator cap. You know, you don't have to, but it also helps your system operate correctly because your radiator is under pressure. It's usually between 16 to 20 psi. So, yep, we're gonna wait. This is pretty much the bleeding. Well, this is the bleeding process, and yeah, you just gotta wait and make sure everything's good. Especially, you gotta wait for this to get in the middle. And I'm gonna proceed, and I will be right back to let you know the finished results. All right, so temperature is climbing. You want to let the car run until the radiator fans kick on. That way you know it's at the correct operating temperature. So checking for heat, trying to make sure we stop at the 180, 210. It should be about 200, 210 when you're finally in there. And it's in the middle. So we're just letting it heat up. Let's go inside. But yep, waiting on the radiator fans to kick on. We got plenty of heat on the inside. Nice and hot. See how high we can get it. Not that we can get it, how high it's gonna go. Let's check this side. So we got about 132 degrees in here. It's very nice heat. So it might get hotter in here just because, yep, there we go. 139, 140 coming up. So yeah, as long as the heat is blasting real nice and high. So yep, 140 degrees. So I'm not sure how hot this is gonna get inside, but you're not gonna need this much heat. But yep, it's doing its job. We're climbing on the temperature gauge and just waiting on the radiator fans to kick on. But this is the procedure on bleeding the coolant system. Like I said, you wanna take your cap off after the car cools down.
check it, drive it for a couple of days, and then check it again. That way you know you're good, especially if you're doing this at home. So please hit the thumbs up, guys. Like, subscribe, leave notifications on if you want to pop in, learn something with me or learn something from me. So live life, love it. Until the next video, I'm out.